All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos from the truck, but yeah, it's all good. It is Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Everything is good with me. The weather is changing, so that's great. Fall weather is always awesome. And hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Everything is going well. And let's just get into the topic of this video. Yesterday I did a short where and I did a TikTok as well, short TikTok, same thing, where I talked about Xbox not being in the Walmart catalog for Christmas. It's just not there. You look at it, it has Nintendo, it has PlayStation, but it has no Xbox reference at all. Nothing Xbox, no series, no 360, no Xbox One, no games, nothing, no accessories. All that stuff is out of the Walmart catalog. So I started to think, with everything going on with this company, and they already pulled out of Costco a while back, and now you see with Walmart, I wonder if this is a good time to start collecting for this particular console. I am an avid collector, and I haven't talked about collecting in a while, so let's talk about this really quick. All right, so I've already been on the 360 bandwagon, picking up games for the 360 and a little bit of the Xbox One. But now with the Xbox Series is being pulled from stores, or they're just not advertising them in stores. And I know the price of the console is up now, so I don't know if that's a viable thing. But I think the games are absolutely worth going after at this point. I don't know what Xbox is doing for their next console, and the way things is looking like, it's looking like that they may not do this traditional console thing anymore. I think they're basically getting out of the business, or they're just saying they're going to cut their losses and do this again, which they may, but I'm betting on that they're not. So I'm thinking like, yo, if you want any of the Xbox Series games, Xbox One games, this may be the perfect time to pick up these particular games and to have them for your collection. Now, there are some games that they don't have all the information on the disc. Be mindful of those, because I think like Halo Infinite is one of them. I know that's one of them for sure. I don't think they have all the games on the disc. I think they don't. Also, there's some Call of Duties out there. I don't recommend getting those as well. They only have like 500 megabytes of data on the disc. You have to download it, kind of like the key card version of a disc. So you got to be mindful of that. But I think the majority of these games, I think we should, if you're a collector, absolutely go after these games now. I don't know if they're going to have any value later on, but you just never know. It just may fall by the wayside, similar like the Wii U, where the Wii U was a situation where people started getting those games, and a lot of those games didn't pick up any value, because a lot of those games did end up on the Switch. And this may happen with Xbox, because everything is being compatible with their devices, where the next Xbox, they may just be able to work on the next Xbox console. Now, I will say this. The next Xbox console may not have a disk drive. So this is another thing that I would say you might want to jump into that lane and pick up some of these Xbox Series games. Now, this is another thing, because there's a lot here. Another thing about this is that there are some people don't value Xbox. Xbox kind of like don't value Xbox. And people be like, why are you picking it up? It's not worth it. It's trash, it's that and the third. But if you're a traditional person that like consoles and like to collect for consoles, and I know there's a handful of us out there, this may be the last time that we'll be able to do this under the Xbox brand. I honestly, deep down, I could be wrong, but a part of me really feels that this may be the last run for Xbox to be in the console space, where you're going to buy a console with a traditional disc drive and have traditional disc that you can put in a console and play. That's how I feel. I could be completely wrong, because there are games on the 360 that still works with the Series X, and or whatever the case may be. That may be, but I'm betting on, and I'm okay with going on with this bet, that getting these games will be worth having in the long run. And if, let's say, the next Xbox Series X2 or whatever they call it can still play these games, well, you still have a library of games that are on the disc that you can use for these consoles, and you feel like you have the ownership of these games. You don't necessarily have, let's say, for instance, a bunch of digital games that you're trying to hold on to. You actually have physical copies of these games. So I am a real big advocate for that. And I really think that this is the hill to stand on. I don't think this is a hill to die on, but you know how people say. I think this is the hill to stand on if you're a big avid collector and you want physical copies of games. I think this will be the way to go. And I'm going to put more value into picking up these games. I started a while back, like once I bought my Xbox Series X, like what it was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And at the time it was like under $500 when I paid for it. Now it's an $800 console, but nevertheless, when I made it my mission to start picking up some of these physical games, because I kind of saw the writing on the wall that Xbox is not really valuing the physical aspect of things. They want you on Game Pass. They want you on PC Game Pass. They want you to be clinging on to that service. And they're not necessarily trying to put games out on, disc. And now with some of these games are being pulled from shelves, or you just don't see them being advertised, it is like a race to the bottom to go get as many of these games as possible. So I'm definitely going to be looking at pawn shops. I'm definitely going to be looking at mom and pop stores. I'm definitely going to be looking at on eBay. And I would not be surprised at some point within the next 3 or 4 years that some of these Xbox Series games and definitely some of the Xbox One games will go up in price. You already seen it with Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 already have an issue where that these prices of games are going up to the $40, $50, and in some cases $60 and above for Xbox 360 games. I expect that that's going to be the case within the next 3 to 5 years for these particular games, especially if the next Xbox do not have a hard drive, a disc drive, or they do not put out physical games in general. So I'm looking at it, and I think that this is the way the Xbox is going. I don't have any inside knowledge. I do not know, but this is just all speculative. And a lot of this stuff, when you're collecting for games nowadays, it is somewhat based on a speculative, it's based on a speculative aspect. Because like I said, before picking up games, I used to do all the VF pickups and all that stuff. Those were basically games that I wanted, games that I really, really wanted to pick up, and it wasn't no speculative side of things. Now, when I look at what's going on with Xbox, I'm basically trying to pick up the games that I want, and I will pick up the games on Xbox before I actually even pick them up on PlayStation. Because I feel like the value of the PlayStation game will be there in the long run. I think that the PS5, those games are going to be pretty much like PS4 games. They're not going to have that much of a value right now, but I think it's going to skyrocket in Xbox within the next few years. I see that happening. I could be wrong, but the way that they're pulling things off the shelf for Xbox, I don't think they're going to repeat the same mistake and make another console like that, because the console space isn't for them. And we're maybe looking at the last aspect of Xbox being in that console space like that. So I feel like this is a really good situation to start picking up some of those games. And on top of that, and I don't even want to talk, I'll talk about this at a later time, I don't think that these games are going to be emulated that well to be in a space where you're going to have an Xbox Series emulator. I could be wrong, but we still haven't got an Xbox One emulator yet. But we do have a PS4, and we do have we have a PS4 emulator out there now. But Xbox is so tied to Windows, I don't think it's going to be able to be cracked like that. I could be wrong, but even with that, that'll make the prices go up even more. But I always put a but out there. You look at the original Xbox, that hasn't been emulated properly yet, and the prices of those games haven't gone up either. So it's kind of like it's a pure speculative, because we just don't know. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm about to start picking up some Xbox Series games. Gonna start picking up some Xbox One games, the ones that are left. And I think these are the games that if you want a physical copy of them, I think this is the way to go. And some of these prices are going to go up. But that's just me. Y'all let me know, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Peace.